they buy fake product, yeah. Make you dey careful, no go damage your life. You've got one life to live.
Buy original.
You should know where to go. The SON. Don't touch, don't touch.
It's fake.
Don't touch, don't touch.
It's bad.
Don't touch, don't touch.
It hurts.
Don't touch, don't touch.
It destroys.
Don't touch, don't touch.
It kills.
You should know where to go. The SON.
Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards.
The search for a viable solution to COVID-19 is on and still generating concerns among governments, health experts, and the general public. Events in the country in the last 3 months have shown that there has been frantic efforts by both the federal and state governments to check the spread of the virus. Believe it or not, we are progressing in our quest as a nation to stem the tide of the pandemic in Nigeria. As government doubles efforts to combat the menace, we shall on the program take a look at one of the Standards Organization of Nigeria's initiative to support local manufacturers and check the distribution of fake and substandard products in Nigeria. It is the Mandatory Conformity Assessment Program, Mancap. What is the objective of this noble scheme by the SON? How can local manufacturers benefit from the scheme? What's been the impact of Mancap on the nation's industrial sector? For answers to these questions and more, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. And that will be after this message. Do not go anywhere.
Muna fata shekaru na da za su zo mutanen mu za su yi la'akari da aikin da muke yi kuma za su lura cewa ya fi cancanta ka sai abu na kwarai da ka sai abu na arha.
Ka yi meze n'obodo anyị a, ka yi mee ka ihe a na-eme n'obodo anyị a, ma ihe a na-ebubata n'obodo anyị a ọ dị mma. Anyị na-ayọ biko ka anyị jikọọ aka na asị na ofu aka adịghị ekechi ngwugwu. Ka anyị jikọọ aka ka Nigeria wee wọrọ anyị obodo.
Ẹ ká lajú wálẹ̀ gbogbo tá a bá máa fowó wa rà ká lè pé o tó pé ojú òṣùwọ̀n èyí tí ò bá yé wa àgbẹ̀ tó bá mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ ẹ tó wà sọ́nà èyí tá a bá dẹ̀ rà tí ò bá pójú òṣùwọ̀n ẹ lọ sí Standard Organization iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ tó bá súnmọ́ yín jù ẹ lọ ṣàlàyé fún wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n á ràn yín lọ́wọ́.
Welcome to the world of standard and quality, where we offer you information on product safety and quality. The program is Standard and You.
Choose life and live. Buy original. Be original. SON.
I welcome you to another edition of the program Standard and You on behalf of the Director General of the SON, Osita Bolima, dedicated management and competent staff of the agency. Our transmission time is 6:30 p.m. on the station every Monday. Don't forget, the program is an initiative of the Standards Organization of Nigeria aimed at empowering consumers and producers of goods with relevant information to make informed decisions on production and consumption of goods. My name is Ifoma Okonkwo. Moving on, did you know that the federal government, through the Standards Organization of Nigeria, has been providing technical support to manufacturers of goods in the country for about 2 decades? How are these companies taking advantage of this government support to reposition their businesses? Please take a listen.
The Mandatory Conformity Assessment Program, Mancap, was introduced in 2006 by the Standards Organization of Nigeria. It's a product certification scheme implemented by the Standards Organization of Nigeria. Under the scheme, locally manufactured goods conform to the minimum Nigerian Industrial Standard, NIS, before being sold in the country or exported.
Initially, we had the optional scheme, which is the NIS scheme. It was not mandatory. But we wanted a situation to suit what we have in Mancap, where we have Mancap compulsory for all imported products. So we wanted a scheme like that for all locally made products. So that was how they came up with the mandatory conformity assessment program 14 years ago, which is Mancap. With that, we expect that all the locally made products in Nigeria will meet the minimum requirements of the standard. And how do we do this? The whole process starts from our state offices. If you are a manufacturer, you go to the nearest state office in your state, because we have our state offices in all over the federation. Some states we have about 3 state offices, some 2, some 1, depend on the business activity of that state. You go to the nearest state office to get the relevant information, like the relevant standards to use, and purchase also the Mancap form.
Producers of goods are expected to observe best practices in line with the Nigerian Industrial Standard and be competitive. The scheme requires officials of the SON in the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT, to inspect factories of SON-regulated products and provide these companies with technical support, which includes standards for the various products as well as guidelines to standard production processes.
The state staff will visit your company at least twice. They also pick samples. We have what we call in-house tests. It's carried in the company's premises. So in your factory, we expect that you should be able to test some parameters. So they carry out the test in your in-house laboratory. Then we also pick samples during that inspection and send to our various labs. We have the food chemistry lab, we have the electrical lab, some in Lagos, some in Enugu, and like the tester lab in Kaduna. So we send the samples to the appropriate lab and carry out the test. And if the state office now find out that your product meets the minimum requirement of that standard, they compile everything and send to this Mancap unit. The Mancap unit is just like a clearing unit. So we'll take those data, cross-check again if actually it meets the requirement. If it meets the requirement, we'll have Mancap Management Committee meeting where the final approval will be given. Once that is done, we send to the management, the top management, and they endorse that certificate, which we now issue to the respective companies for their products.
The certification procedures include inspection of the production processes, which comes at no cost to owners of factories. During such visits, officials of the SON are often thorough and painstaking in their inspection of production processes to expose beneficiaries to global best practices. Officials of the Standards Organization of Nigeria also conduct sampling and testing of products in line with relevant Nigerian industrial standards. The state offices of the SON treat reports of inspection and tests which are forwarded to the Product Verification Directorate for evaluation and recommendation of SON's management for approval of certificate.
We already know a little bit of what you are doing. We know your product. We've gone through the standard in-house here. We've prepared for that inspection. What are the specifications that you need for that product? But with our preparation, we still have to come to you. Meet with you, the first meeting, we call it the opening meeting. And we'll tell you why we are there. We will inspect your raw material store, your finished goods store, the production process, then your quality assurance activities, including, that is your lab. So from there, knowing what we want to do, we'll tell you. open up to us. It's when we know who you are, what you are doing, that we can add value to your system. We are not there to police you and then harass you. No. So from the opening meeting, we move. We start from the raw material store. What are your raw materials? At times, people, what are they looking for, safe? Raw material. Is it not carry this thing and go? We need to see your raw material store. How do you store your raw materials? If you don't store them well, you can even lose from there. If you are bringing a particular raw material A for production, you bring 100 bags today. After 1 month, it's not finished yet. Maybe you still take stock. It's not finished. You bring another 100 bags. But if it's not well arranged, the one you just brought in is what you will take. And that one is expiring. So we have what we call FIFO, first in, first out. Because these are the areas you can lose. You don't make profit. You find out that what you are doing on the long, because garbage in, garbage out. When you use the wrong raw material, what you get out is bad. So your store, we look at all those areas. Are you storing at the right temperature? There are some raw materials, they tell you it should be stored under this. But some of them, they don't care. They don't even read.
It's a rigorous exercise that culminates to presentation of Mancap certificate, which is valid for a period of 3 years, after which the product is subjected to a recertification process. It's instructive to note that the certification can be withdrawn in the event of compromise of the NIS by a company. Officials of the SON, through periodic factory inspections and testing, ensure consistent compliance with the relevant standards.
They wanted to know the area first. They wanted to also be sure the company was registered. They also want to know about the competency of individual involved. And these are most of the requirements that we have to meet up. So when we look at the requirement, they also talk about the mode, the type of mode you want to do. They were also concerned about where are they manufacturing the mode, the strength of the mode. And after that, they were also concerned about the chipping you are using, the sound you are using, the mixture ratio you are using. These are part of the things we also gained from them, part of the requirement they did. And they actually, at the time, they were even about the cement, where do you store the cement to use? So where are you buying the cement from? They were all concerned about this. And I could vividly remember when they went to, virtually everything we did, they took measurements. Even up to the water ratios, they took measurements. And at interval, when they come, either we like it or not, at every interval they notify us. By the time, I will tell them, go ahead, the facility is free for you. Because the more you come to audit the system, the more you improve the system. That's my point of understanding. And sometimes even my managers will complain, oh, guy, you would have told us. I say, no, you don't do that. In the Western world, you don't do that. The more they come to pass through your processes, the more you build up the processes. And the more the processes are built up and reach up to a certain level of requirement, the more the market is open for us.
They check the quality, the material maybe have expired or something, and the country the materials are coming from, and the production process. We check the production process and the sanitation of the environment.
SON is being considered as a partner in progress, especially for Europe Global. So one of the activities is the certification process, which is Mancap certification of our products, which of course puts a lot of confidence in the mind of prospective consumers. So to do that, we need to pass through a lot of SON requirements with respect to that. So an inspection is always scheduled. And during the inspections, they look at different areas, right from raw materials up to the finished products. And they even go a step further to also collect a sample to now analyze it in their own lab separately to be sure that the quality of the product we are producing is conforming to what the NIS standard is all about. It is stipulated. You can imagine it where there is no limit or standard, there will be chaos. So, and that is why SON has been so supportive in terms of that. So, where there is need for us to adjust or to conform, it always comes back as by means of a compliance directive, which we need to close out. And by closing it out from time to time, it means that we are conforming to they are helping us in terms of our product quality consistently from time to time. And they don't limit it to certification only. After the certification, quarterly they pay a visit to us to be sure that we are still meeting what is required of us. And their feedback has always been very frank, firm, and they have always been very fair to us.
That actually came here to formally present the certificate to us. I was quite impressed. So it's not just a matter of behaving like an headmaster. They behaved like a partner. That one impressed me. And I still have the picture in some of our brochure. Mancap SON certificate to us.
From the southwest, southeast to the south-south and northeast, officials of the Standards Organization of Nigeria conduct factory inspections, providing these companies, especially small and medium enterprises (SMEs), with standard procedures to deepen their knowledge on the imperatives of standards. It's an exercise that has not only changed the way they conduct their business, but translated into financial gains, as attested by some beneficiaries of the SON technical support.
They provide us proper guidance, and they are always coming around to check on what we do, to show us where the gaps are, and we try to correct those gaps so that each time they come, okay, we are improving. So it's always a dynamic sort of thing, relationship we have with them. Constant improvement, constant aspiration for excellence.
About 5,000 companies have benefited from the SON Mancap scheme, with more producers of goods in the country improving their operational procedures through the Mancap scheme. According to some manufacturers who spoke to Standard & You, the passion and dedication of the SON inspectors is commendable and a demonstration of government's determination to support the nation's industrial sector.
The SON coming here every quarter to come and test, give quality assurance to my product is another encouraging something. It brings compatibility, it brings safety and all other things. They are saving us, they are also saving the buyers. If you produce bad products for them, it's not good. And that is one of the things. They are doing a lot of wonderful jobs in Nigeria, and I must commend them.
As efforts are on to boost the agency's technological capacity for effective and efficient service delivery, the SON's chief executive disclosed that the agency will continue to promote standardization to reposition the nation's industrial sector to enable local manufacturers not only to remain in business, but produce goods of acceptable standards.
Focus is going to be more on SMEs, to inculcate the culture of quality assurance in them, meet them at their time of needs, grow them, and recommend them to other sister agencies like DOI for loans and grants to make them grow.
Wow, Chief Mike, how are you? Fine. I'm going to Sun office for the certification of my wheat flour.
Oh no, things have changed. Sun has simplified all its activities. You could have even stayed back in Kano and process all your papers online. Whoa.
With the efforts of Sun, the products of SMEs can now compete globally. Sun has put in place necessary machineries in support of the growth of SMEs. At highly subsidized charges, SMEs can now get their certification, laboratory testing of their products, as well as purchase of standards. Meanwhile, Sun is carrying out massive seizure of substandard goods in the market and have gotten legal backing to prosecute offenders, all to protect consumers and SMEs. Sun, improving life through standards.
Welcome to the feedback segment of the program. Did you know dealing on substandard and fake products is an offense punishable by law? Do you even know your consumer rights and responsibilities? Do not be silent. Reach out to us now. Ask questions, seek clarifications and give us information on substandard and fake products. Our first message is from Abubakar Sambo from Maiduguri. He says, "We are really enjoying your program. May God help you and keep it up." Thank you, Abubakar. Sheyi from Abuja says, "Well done, SON. There's been a hydraulic brake fluid in circulation with SON logo by name Bendix E5 that is harmful to brake kits. This fluid has caused lots of damage to my brake works on vehicle. I'm so sorry about that, Sheyi, but kindly visit our office at number 14 Kitwit Street beside Water Board Zone 4, Wuse, for investigation and necessary action." Philip Ali from Bonu says, "Yes, SON, God bless your office." God bless you too, Philip. Japheth from Kaduna says, "I really enjoyed your program. Keep on doing the good work." Thank you so much, Japheth. We are encouraged to strive harder and work smarter. Our next message is from Chidera from Jos. She says, "I love your show today. Thank you, SON." Thank you so much, Chidera. We are indeed grateful. Anonymous message says, "I watch your program. It is educative. More power to your elbow." Thank you. God bless you. Oladeji John, a local producer of hand sanitizer from Ibadan, says, "How can I get endorsement from SON on my product? I started producing during this pandemic period." Thank you so much. Please contact our office at number 21 Oshutokun Avenue, Old Bodija, Ibadan, to initiate the process of the Mandatory Conformity Assessment Program, Mancap. Adeyeye Patrick says, "Please, I want to make inquiry about registration of cosmetic production. What are the procedures and steps to follow and fees to be paid?" The process of registration starts in the comfort of your office. Please go to our website at www.son.gov.ng to kickstart the process. Evelyn Ifedi from Lagos says, "Thank you, SON, for clarifying my uncertainty on the quality and efficacy of hand sanitizers and face masks as preventive measures to control COVID-19. You are indeed a wonderful organization, and I love watching your program." Thank you so much, Evelyn. We love you too. And that's the size of our package on today's edition of the program Standard and You. Join us next week for another interesting edition. Don't forget to send in your messages to the number 07059724455. Follow us on Facebook at Standard and You, Instagram and Twitter at Standard and You _. We have videos online at youtube.com/Standard and You. Please remember to stay safe. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water. Use hand sanitizers and maintain social distancing. Bye for now.
Why you dey buy fake product, Make you dey careful, no go damage your life. You've got one life to live.
Buy original.